All right, Bang. Today is Thursday. It is May 28th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Before we get into today's conversation, it's Chief and I. It's supposed to be Dante. Couldn't be me, unfortunately.
Idiot.
But listen, I want to talk about Reese's. Listen, some fans believe in destiny, teams of destiny, but I believe everything happens for a Reese's. Just think about it. What is one thing every team or athlete wants? A championship. Why? Because half of them are called cups. Stanley World Rider, just like Reese's. Luckily, scoring a Reese's cup is way easier than winning a championship. It's almost like you were destined to get one right now. Because everything happens for a Reese's. Pick one up today. That used to be your thing.
Oh, they're coming back, and we're having them as a sponsor right as the Hawks are on the uptick. Rally Reese's are going to be back.
Yeah, for people
Just
that don't
crush
know.
an entire box.
We're talking like circa 2013, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Chief used to sneak Reese's into the United Center.
Up my sleeve.
Yes,
Yeah.
to get the Blackhawks going on a rally.
Yeah, if they need a little something. Everyone's like, oh, Joel got so much better as a series or a game went along. No, I just knew the right time to crush a Rally Reese's and turn the whole season around.
Just a Reese's. So Reese's, the official candy partner of Barstool Sports. Everything happens for a Reese's. Get yours at Hersheyland.com/Reese's. Also, guys, embrace debate, the board game. It is at Walmart now. You debate with friends about certain sports topics. There's no stats, no Googling, no safety net. You literally just get after it old school. It's perfect for pre-games, tailgates, and nights where everyone thinks they're the smartest sports fan alive. Embrace debate. Shop now at walmart.com or in stores nationwide. All right, so there's a lot going on with aliens.
Yeah.
I just saw a headline that was quite jarring, to be honest with you, that apparently the CIA looked at 23andMe for alien DNA. Did you see that?
I did see this.
Okay.
So
Sorry, I don't know if we want to stop there, but I'm just like dumping on you.
yeah, we can get into that too, because I saw that headline as well. I clicked the article. That was specifically around the aliens where they found these elongated skulls, and they were like trying to match it and like couldn't match it to any like human genome.
No, yeah.
So that was something, and that's even something that's different than like what's been going on lately. And we've talked about aliens here many times. And now it feels like there was like this momentum to have disclosure. And there was a big document dump earlier this month. So it's called officially the Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters, PURSUE. And they like released these things that I'm like, what are we even talking about? So there's a few more visuals where they have this almost star-shaped looking thing kind of floating around, and it's like no one knows what that is. And so they're just like kind of acknowledging that there has been funding, there has been sightings, and then that Trump on Tuesday said that there would be even further disclosure on this topic. But like one of the things that came out that I just like I cannot wrap my mind around is that they said that there were 4 known species of humanoid visitors. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. So they have given them 4 distinctions. There's the grays, which this is part of where I'm like, am I getting psyoped and duped again? Because the 4 things that they released, I feel like they're kind of from pop culture. So one is like the grays, which is like your classic alien, like slender body, big head, big black eyes, smaller like person, but bipedal, meaning like they walk around on 2 legs. Then they had like a lizard man, again, walking around on 2 legs. Then they had they're calling it like an insect, but again on 2 legs. They're saying it looks kind of like a praying mantis, but like a humanoid, like 6 foot tall version of it. And then they have something called the Nordics, which is just like Thor. It's just like a big blonde, Swedish looking guy, blonde hair, blue eyed, pale skin, who's apparently like 7 feet tall. Like that's literally like that's Thor. So those are like the 4 species that have apparently had contact or been recovered at different crash sites that there are, and that was something that was disclosed previously is that they had biologics from these recovered crash sites, and it's like now they're getting like more detailed and more specific about what exactly those are. So not only are they saying that we have video and radar and witness accounts of different UAPs, UFOs, but now they're saying that there are like 4 different species of aliens from God knows where that have made contact with Earth. And it's just like, I don't know what to make of that. And that's where I'm like, is it a coincidence? It's like, what is the real thing? Is pop culture based where we have these, like if you think of the movie Alien, it's like this like insect lizard looking bug thing, the movie from the 80s. And then like you have like the little green men or like the grays, like we've seen that in movies. We've like going back to like the 50s when the like science fiction first started kicking off with like alien talk. The prevailing predominant alien figure was like what they're describing as the Nordic. So it's like, we're all these science fiction dreams, or were the people imagining these types of aliens, or was there like leaks or witness reports that led to those that became popular, and so, like it's like a chicken or the egg thing, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
or did these already exist and the government's like, yeah, you guys were right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what to believe about that.
You got people like Za, who was fucking in Zimbabwe as a child, like drawing these.
Right, and they all.
pictures.
We should touch on that briefly. So there is a famous alien encounter case that happened at Za's school when I think he was like 6 or 7, and they landed like right near the school, and then the thing, like the spaceship like was there, and then it took off, and it was at recess, and they brought all the kids in, separated them out like immediately, and were like, basically
draw what you saw,
like give a deposition. So it wasn't like any group think. It's not like these children were like coordinating, like let's all draw the same thing, but they all drew the same thing. And it's like, no one knows what that was, and that's like hardly ever talked about. Then, so it's like, here's the other thing that I struggle with these aliens. Earth's been around a long time. Like we've had written language for, call it 6,000 years, like civilization for 6,000 years. We've had, I think the oldest ever found human remains are something like 400,000 years old, which doesn't mean that we're not an older species than that, but that's the oldest back we've got. And then the planet is, I think, like 1 billion years old. And if you watch that dinosaur show on Netflix, they're going through all these eons, like, oh, the dinosaurs around for like hundreds of millions of years. And it's like all of these aliens are coming to Earth now while we're alive and have the ability to like capture footage of them and things like that, or were they always coming? Like I don't know what's going on, and it's just like, I want to believe that aliens are real because it makes logical sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me that they're all coming now.
Yeah.
And like, why is there this push all of a sudden? Like, why is the government acknowledging it now? Because there's been all sorts of cover-ups. There's been reports of, I think this might have been on Tucker or some other podcast, where there's like a lot of military personnel who have reportedly been injured by encounters with things that they don't know what they are. So we'll call them UAPs. And then they're denied veterans benefits coverage because if they say that like you got this injury on a mission where you came in contact with, like, you have to acknowledge the fact that aliens existed. So if people have been, injured or killed or whatever to protect the story, or denied coverage to protect the story, like there's some level of criminality in that too.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's impossible to parse out what is real. And if you got a brain like me, where I just can't believe anything anymore, where it's like, now, like, it feels like there's got to be some sort of motivation where it's like, And it's like you can kind of say this about the Iran war too, where it's like, what was the number one story before the Iran war in the news?
Epstein.
Okay. And there are websites that you can go to that like chart out Google searches and headlines and things like that across the internet. And the Epstein thing was like the number one thing for a long time until the Iran war started. And then that story has kind of like gone away. Like you don't really hear as many people talking about it when it was the number one story across all sorts of different media platforms. Now everyone's focused, and probably rightly so, on the acute impact of a war with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like now we could make an argument that maybe this isn't going so well. So let's give some other breadcrumbs and some other, flashy thing to distract people from, the thing that they don't want to talk about.
I believe in that. Like, I believe there's no coincidences.
No coincidence. What do you mean?
I mean, there are coincidences, but like it feels like as of recent when shit comes out,
yeah,
it's for a reason. Like there might be a deflection of. I'm not saying by who or for what, but I do believe that
things are planned.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is for.
Well, you're kind of the king of that in this office.
What does that mean?
You're the number one. Throw the ball down the hall and let people go chase it. Then you subvert whatever people have you pinned down on.
Listen, I
like
think
this. Like you might be a plant.
I don't know.
You're a Fed.
That. I don't know about that. I think if everyone's heads are turned one way, the best way to get them to turn away is by throwing the ball in the other
right,
side.
You're great at it.
Yeah,
you're a Fed.
It's not my fault that it's easy to do to White Sox Day. I think here's what I get hung up on.
Okay.
What makes this a UAP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what makes it that? Because isn't it a fact that there is like millions of species that we have yet to identify, like in the ocean and shit?
Yeah, certainly. I mean,
that's
so
what
a
UAP
me. Is what it stands for?
Yeah, well, that's like that took over UFO.
Well, it's unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah.
So it could be, who knows what it is.
Yeah.
And
I guess you mean more like the species.
The species thing.
Yes, that's what I mean. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that the main difference would be. So you think that and people.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to clarify what you mean. Because there have been people and there are videos of these things popping out of the ocean, So could there be we just haven't found other intelligent life, I guess, so capable of creating technology that can either subvert technology and hide in the ocean, or bend space and time, or fly from a distant planet, or whatever. Like we haven't come across. Like we are at the top of the pyramid as far as Earth is concerned. And so the idea that there's another hyper-intelligent species like hiding in plain sight in 2026 that has always been here that we just haven't discovered, that seems like a little, I don't know how that, I mean, like I kind of think anything is possible at this point.
Yeah.
But like that seems unlikely to me unless it's one of those things where like you can't tell them apart from a human. Like maybe it's, we talked about the Nordics, like is Dirk Nowitzki just a fucking alien? A big 7 foot tall blonde guy.
Yeah.
Which that's a fucking PED. You want to talk about that fade away one-legged shot? Like maybe that's alien technology.
Euro step and jump.
Yeah. So I don't know that, and it's like, and then it goes back to also, and I think we've talked about this somewhere in the last 6 years, but the Podesta files. Which when Hillary Clinton's emails got hacked and leaked, and that's where like the Pizzagate stuff, that was like the number one story that kind of came out of there. But there was also like weird things from Podesta, who was her chief of staff and worked for Bill Clinton. And he's an odd guy too. Like if you ever look up like the type of art he has in his house, it's all like very strange, demonic. Like what the fuck? Like why would you want shit like this? But there's like, he has email correspondence about like communicating with aliens and 0 point energy and how they don't want any like hostilities and, but they're watching and they're like ready to act upon us. So it's like, what is 0 point energy?
Yeah.
And that's like one of those things too, where it's like, I could see a situation where the government is developing and testing these different things and reverse engineering things and has discovered 0 point energy, but doesn't want to make it widely available because that would disrupt the whole world's economy. Like there's too many people making too much money to have some sort of 0 point energy that who knows what the cost would be. That goes back to like the old conspiracy theory about Tesla, where Tesla, you know how we talked about this? He's got that tower in it's either Long Island or New Jersey, where he was trying to, like, he was funded by JP Morgan to create wireless communication, and then he just like kind of went rogue, and he's like, I can do wireless energy, and he's like, I'm pretty close, and he presents it to JP Morgan. JP Morgan's like, well, where do you plug in the meter? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, this is a transformational technology. You just pull the energy from the air. There is no meter. And he's like, shut this fucking thing down, you know? So, like, while it would be like this unbelievable thing for mankind to have everybody have wireless, limitless energy for free, there's no money to be made on things that are free. So they shut it down. I think there's lots of examples of things like that historically and even recently, where it's like, hey, if there's no money in this, then you squash that thing. And so maybe that's like an element of this, where it's like you have our entire like the entire world economy, including like our own currency, is tied to like the petrodollar, and everything is based on petrochemicals. So if it's like all of a sudden you don't need oil, gas, whatever, because you have it from zero point energy. I almost want to look up what they.
Another thing is, sorry, did you find it?
0 point energy, ZP, is the lowest possible energy that a quantum mechanical system can possess. Unlike classical physics, which predicts that all motion and energy cease at absolute zero, quantum mechanics dictates that particles, atoms, and even empty space retain a baseline level of fluctuating energy. So that would be like dark matter and stuff. So if there's a way to harness that from the air, and it's like you can pull energy from things you don't even see, because like even like this is the stuff that always kind of breaks my brain. Like this table or anything that's a solid feels rock solid, but it's more, I think technically, and I might have this wrong, but I think technically it's still more empty space than physical product, because it's just like how tightly bound the atoms are. So like in air, like they're just bouncing around when it's like a compact thing. But if you get down to like the atomic level, they're still bouncing around, you know, it's still bouncing around in there. So it's just how tightly compact are they, solid, liquid, gas. And so if you're able to just like walk through the air and pull an energy source from, you know, boundless energy from the air, then that would be something, but that would totally disrupt our whole economy. So, and that's, you know, I remember watching a documentary about nuclear energy. And so like France, so nuclear energy obviously created through the atomic bombs, and then they were able to harness that into, like, you've seen like the big Homer Simpson nuclear power plants. Yeah. And they were built all over the world. France, I think, still gets 80% of their energy from nuclear. Germany used to have a ton, but then there was like this green energy movement that shut them all down because they felt it was unsafe, and that was on the heels of
Chernobyl.
Not even Chernobyl, more the thing that pushed Germany, because this was like starting in 2014, was that Japanese tsunami disaster. But like that's one of those things where there was massive protests to stop construction of nuclear energy in the 60s and the 70s and in this country, and it largely worked. But then you like dig through, and I wish I could remember the name of this documentary, and it's like, who was funding all the negative press and the you know, the protests and all this stuff? Big oil. Okay, like they kind of, because they saw that as a direct competitor or a direct threat, being like, if we have boundless energy from nuclear power, which lasts forever, then, you know, that really hurts our bottom line. So they effectively killed it, and that's not anything new. When Standard Oil, they, with the Rockefellers in the Industrial Revolution, they became this massive company, and their main purpose was kerosene, and they were doing for kerosene lanterns, and they were selling kerosene for lighting all over the country, all over the world. And then electricity became a thing, and the light bulb with Thomas Edison, and they had this massive media campaign to try to be like, electrical fires are the worst. This is, it's very unsafe. Don't do that. And then eventually, like, electricity just took over. Yeah. But like that was like this is not like a new playbook. So that I could see like the economic impact and like the powers that be that want to keep some of these alien technologies down, like having enough sway to do that. But then that would be like a lot of people know about it. So then it's like you have to kind of throw that idea out. So it's like I don't know what to make of this. I think aliens are real. I'm still not convinced that these disclosures are real.
It's also kind of wild that it's on the heels of Spielberg's new movie called Disclosure Day.
Yeah, and there was the documentary Age of Disclosure, which I think was on. I bought it or rented it or whatever on Prime, like maybe last spring, where it was like they had Tim Burchett, who's a congressman from Tennessee, who's like kind of one of the leading voices on this, and Jeremy Corbell, and it's crazy that the Blink-182 guy is so big into this too. And it's just, I don't know. It is a wild thing. And then you have we've talked about him before also, and he's been on Rogan, I think a couple of times with Bob Lazar, where he was talking about that element 115 as a stable isotope back in the 80s. And it didn't even exist then. And then you fast forward 20 something years, and it's like, oh yeah, it does exist. Now it's on the periodic table, element 115. I can't remember the actual name of the element, but it's like 115 on the periodic table. So it's like he was talking about something that he knew existed, that people, were like, this guy's a conspiracy quack trying to like profit off of this. And then it's like, oh, well, he was actually telling the truth that this does exist. So it's like, I don't know. It's like I just twist my brain into circles trying to think about this, but it's just like there's nothing that I can get to where I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's the biggest episode he's ever done.
Rogan's with Bob Lazar. How many people do you think listened to that?
I think it was something crazy.
I'll pull it up on
like
YouTube, see what that says.
Or something. Something.
Well, he was on again
recently,
a month ago. That has 7 million views. Like even the clips of these, 13 million views, 2.5 million views, 66 million views 6 years ago. 66. That's more than Trump.
I know, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, more than him, more than Elon, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of wild that like how much interest this is taking over. But I'm really excited for that movie. That was like one of my
It looks like a good movie.
most anticipated movies.
Yeah. He's done other he did E.T. What other movies did he?
Spielberg?
Yeah.
I mean,
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I mean, Jurassic Park.
No, I mean like specifically about aliens.
Like about aliens?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know off the top of my head. But it just obviously Spielberg always has the cachet where he is
You're going
blind.
to see it.
Yeah, he's blind trust. And the way that they've marketed this, like the trailers haven't given too much away, and have kind of gotten to the point where like I'm gonna go see it, so I've avoided every trailer.
Yeah. I saw one trailer that was like, oh fuck. Did you see the one where it's like it starts with a deer head and then the camera pans and then it like goes black and it pops up, like starts at a deer eye basically. And then the camera pans over and it comes back and it's like an alien.
No, I don't think I have.
Like one of those eyes that sound like the Greys.
Ah, okay.
Big black eye.
No, I have not.
And I don't know. And then have you ever heard the Tucker Carlson theory on what aliens are?
No.
He thinks they're demons.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he like doesn't get into too much detail about it, but he just kind of like, he's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Why did he have like an encounter or something?
He did not have an encounter, but he just references conversations with, I'm like, his dad was in the CIA. He's been in Washington forever. So like, I'm sure people have like giving him little nuggets. But it's like, who knows what to believe. That's somebody that we should try to have on. He's made the rounds recently. Have you seen this priest? Seems like Father Rippinger or something like that. And he's like the world's leading exorcist. He's like, you got to find a clip of this guy. I think he has maybe, and I'm not saying this as like an insult, but he seems like he has like a little bit of maybe autism to him, where the way he speaks, and he just says like these outrageous things and then just like moves it along. He's like, oh yeah, like I like sometimes these things try to levitate. He's like, I'm just not having that, and then he like moves like, what do you mean you're not having it? Like, and he like talks about like yelling at. So that guy was on Sean Ryan. I watched. It was like a 4-hour episode of Sean Ryan with him just sitting there talking about demons and like there's like a whole hierarchy of angels and demons, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I was raised Catholic and religious, and it was like, I've never heard of fucking any of this shit.
Yeah.
And they talk about like all the things that they do to try to get demons out of people and houses and objects, and it's like, this is
Father Dan Rehill, is that right? No,
let me look him up.
Looks like
definitely,
yeah, that's him. It's gotta be
Chad Ripperger.
That's the name of the priest?
That's the name of the priest. I think there's a couple of guys. Are you seeing a guy that looks like straight, like he's from Texas?
I don't know. I'm just seeing Sean Ryan.
Sean Ryan's had 2 different.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
he's locked in.
Yeah, he's got that market cornered for sure.
Real locked in. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Because it's like, that's one of those things, like it's like one of those things that I would historically, in that episode that was 2 months ago with Father Chad Ripperger, 4.3 million views on Sean Ryan for a 4-hour and 8-minute podcast. And that's one of those things where it's like, if you're thinking about the aliens and like Podesta with his weird art and the Epstein stuff, and like, that's like the other weird thing about the Epstein stuff that no one talks about. Everyone's always focused on like the island and his New York place where he got arrested, but he had that weird ranch out in New Mexico right near Los Alamos. So, and then it's like, so is all this stuff like tied together somehow, where you have like this guy who, I mean, I'm using the term flippantly, like is a fucking demon, and he's surrounded by fucking demons where they're doing weird sex cult things, and then they have like the artwork about it, and then they're right next to like the alien nuclear power epicenter, theoretical physics epicenter of the world that he's funding. And that ranch was raided, and he had all kinds of weird stuff there, and it was a ranch it was a huge property in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, I don't know what's going on, but it's like, maybe, I don't know, like there's just like all, like it's all connected somehow. Like, yeah. I don't know.
If you were able to see one of those 4 species, which one would you want to see? Which one would you want to see, and which one would you be the most terrified by?
I think I'd be most terrified of the praying mantis one. Have you seen the
I just
composites of it?
I just pulled up all 4.
Can any of them speak English? Like, how do you communicate with these guys?
I don't know. So I guess, but regardless, even if you just encountered it and you could get a glimpse of it visually, like what, that the praying mantis you'd be the most scared of, or that's one you'd want to see?
I think that's one I'd be the most scared of.
Dude, I was going to say the Nordic I'd be the most scared of.
Why is that?
I don't know. There's something about it being able to blend in.
Yeah.
So easily that makes it the most terrifying.
Yeah, because and that's like the other thing too, where it's like, I love like the ancient history kind of stuff where you talk about, like, we've talked about like the pyramids and lost civilizations, and it's like, I love thinking about those things and different cataclysms. And it's like, how the fuck did we build the pyramids? Well, maybe we just had 10-foot tall giants, and they were a lot stronger, and they could just lift shit a lot. Yeah. And then that species went extinct, and maybe it was like Maybe it was the Earth was inhabited by like a different species, and then they fucking left for whatever reason.
Yeah,
you know.
And I would say I'd probably be most afraid of the reptilian.
Why?
Just looking at him right now to see that thing on 2 legs, like that's like basically seeing like an alligator.
I feel like I've seen that guy in Star Wars, and you know,
yeah,
like
for sure.
that.
But
and it's
imagine
like
if it was like you don't know what's behind,
yeah, and it's just like, but also like the idea of like alligator reptiles been on this planet forever.
Yeah.
And it's like, did the smart ones just all leave, and then like they left us with these other ones, or was they combined? You know, like their smart DNA was with apes and took off. Like it's just like I really think like anything is possible, and it's like
I'm just saying what I'm looking at right now. If this guy walked through that door, he'd be the scariest.
I'm more afraid of like the human mind, in general. That's why we go back to our whole thing about like what's scarier, like the ocean or the woods.
Yeah.
And like my biggest point on why the woods are scarier is because there's probably fucking people in there. And, you know, I'll take my chances with like an animal acting on instinct. Like I don't want to run into some fucking thing that's got psychological problems that's going to hunt me and put me in a saw situation. You know, like that's like there's nothing scarier than like fucked up human beings.
Yeah, there's a few movies this year I've seen
that are like that. Yeah. That's what's the one that just came out that you're big on? Possessions?
It's called Obsession.
Obsession.
Yeah, it's like fucking awesome. But there's this movie called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple that came out.
Okay.
And it's pretty wild that there's this like gang of just absolute pieces of shit. And they mimic Jimmy Savile. You know who that is?
No.
He's like the guy. He was like a big TV show host in England.
Oh, he's like a pedophile guy.
Pedophile, yeah. Exactly. It's pretty crazy. So I get what you mean as far as that goes, but I still think the ocean's the choice on that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one from Game of Thrones was the guy building these fucking pyramids. Remember the giant? Yeah.
Yeah. Clegane or whatever, one of those guys.
Uh-huh.
Or we were talking about the guy, the Wilding guy.
Yeah, the Wilding, the one.
Yeah.
Who died in
he got an arrow through the eyeball.
Yeah,
that was a tough break.
Battle
of the Bastards had to be.
I think so.
Yeah, because Ramsay got him. Yeah, and it's like that's like another thing, like talking about dragons, and it's like that's one of those things where it's like, how did every culture around the world, from Africa to Mexico, South America, North America, Europe, obviously Japan and China and the Far East, they all have the same dragon myth.
Mm-hmm.
So is there like how did all these people who never had any communication dream up the same scary fire breathing thing? Crazy. Yeah. How does every culture and ancient religion seem to have a global cataclysm flood myth? What was that? You know, so it's like there's so many weird commonalities. It's like almost part of like a collective memory or a collective unconscious that like these stories just get like passed through globally for who knows 12,000, 15,000 years. And it's like maybe like they're what, you know, and then everyone has religion, and a lot of people talk about demons or watchers or these things that are like people are coming from space. Like you have the pyramids and you have like all over the world. But have you ever seen like the Nazca lines in Peru? They're like these giant, miles long, like call them like artworks that can only be really seen from the sky. Like you would never like be walking alongside it and be like, I wonder what this thing is. But it was only until like we had aerial views that were like these massive designs. And it's like, what would be the motivation for humans to create these giant artworks across the landscape?
Oh, damn, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's like their version of the crop.
Yeah, they're like kind of like crop circles. Like, yeah you're right. But they're enormous.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you spend all the time and energy on doing that? Like, is that like a form of? Is that just like a fucking SOS thing? Like, hey, come back and get it. I don't know what that is, but there had to be a motivation for doing that. I think about that with the big fucking guys on Easter Island too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, why were you why were you having your entire civilization focused on making these giant statues all over the island? Or you can put the pyramids in that category in Mexico and Egypt too. Like, what is the point of that?
Damn, dude, you know what's fucked up? We weren't that far away from the Georgia Guidestones at Sydney's wedding.
I know, but those got taken down.
There's got to be something though, no?
What's there now?
Yeah, like did they completely get rid of everything? I know they got vandalized, but they were heavily damaged in a bombing and subsequently demolished.
Yeah.
How did they demolish them?
They no longer exist in July of 22.
Why wouldn't they just restore that? Am I crazy?
But it was like they were always controversial to begin with because they talked about things like don't let the global population get above 500,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I know they're fucked up.
So that's like
to a degree.
In its like inherently there, it's like a genocidal.
Yeah,
you'd have to kill like 7 billion people, or almost 8 billion people to get to those numbers. So I don't know what those were, and no one ever could figure out where they came from. So yeah, I would feel like there's probably not a lot of motivation to restore those.
Just keep it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that they were opened in 1980. I thought they were like super old.
No. Oh, no. They just they just popped up in the middle of the night one time. People were like, what the fuck is this? And no one could figure out like where the rock came from, who paid for it, who put it there. No one, like, that was a secret that died with whoever put them there.
It was sometimes referred to as the American Stonehenge. That's what I was like.
Oh, that's why you thought it was. Yeah. And like Stonehenge is like, that's one of those things that it's like, it's cool and it's mysterious, but it like, and it obviously took a lot of effort, but it's just a circle that kind of lines up with the equinox. When you compare that to some of these other, like compare it to Göbekli Tepe, which is thousands and thousands of years older, that site in Turkey, that they're not like, they don't really let people study or excavate. That's like the other thing. Egyptians don't let you study the pyramids, really. They don't really allow for any further excavation or study because there's like that supposed Italian group that saw the spires underneath the base of the pyramids that go down like way into the Earth's crust. And it's like, well, can we go dig down there? Like, no, Egyptians built this. That's the end of the story. Same thing with Turkey and Göbekli Tepe. Like there could be way more. Like they found that thing by accident. And that thing was buried intentionally and found thousands of years later. So, and that had all kinds of like written language. So it's like the first written language and through like almost kind of like hieroglyphs. There's just all kinds of weird shit that it's like, why can't we know this stuff? And who's making the decision that tells us we can't know it?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. But
it's fun to think about, though.
I know. Interested to see what more comes out of this, if anything. Probably not.
Do you feel like people just don't really care that much?
I think people don't care until something major
like, give
happens.
me a press conference with one of these fucking reptile guys.
Yeah, like if they like we're looking at like mock drawings. Like if there was a big court hearing, or you know what I mean, like
why don't they do that?
And they held up like a diagram, be like, this is what we believe we found. Then I think people will be like, oh fuck.
They could. Here's the other thing though about the internet era and AI and everything. They could walk a Nordic, a gray, a reptile, and one of these guys. They could walk them out in the rose garden in fucking handcuffs if they wanted to. And I guarantee you the top comment on the Instagram would be like, fucking fake, AI, not real. Like, this is deep state dupe. Like, it's just impossible to sort out what's real. That's like a very funny thing. If you ever look on, if you ever go to NASA's Instagram, have you ever done this? Have you ever seen this? If you go to NASA's, I'm going to try to pull one up. NASA. So NASA has 104 million followers. If you go to like any picture and go to the comments, you have like some positive ones, and then you scroll and it's like, these are all fake, fucking fake, and people like, I don't believe this. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, that guy's not, like, they show a picture of a guy in space. He's like, he's not there. That's a studio, like.
Yeah.
So
That's funny.
yeah.
All right then. I would have been great if Dante was here to see what crazy thing he has going on in his brain. But
Just so should we just say what happened? That we scheduled this thing for 10.
yeah.
A little bit before 10, he says, I need 10:30. And then at 10:20, he's like, I need until 1. What happened between 10 and 10:30?
Who knows? It's just the Don.
He is the Don. Neither one of a kind.
Yeah.
Love the Don, but my God.
All right then. Thank you. That's it, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will be back on Tuesday. We'll see you then.